Today, I want to talk about something that might seem as complicated as assembling furniture, with instructions in a language we only know from songs at ChinaVision. I'm talking about the well-being of our own self. Have you ever thought that in the search for oneself, one can get lost even more than in a vast supermarket parking lot? That's exactly what I'm going to discuss now. As we know from Holy Scripture, being a Christian is not just about humility and modesty, but also a healthy dose of self-love. Love your neighbor as yourself. Sound familiar? But how can we love others if, in the mirror, we see someone who, at best, deserves the title of Star of the Month on a service named Daily Self-Criticism? Let's start by accepting one fundamental truth. God is not the creator of death. It's a bit like with family. We have masterpieces and those who are works in progress. But we love them all the same and unconditionally. And indeed, as Psalm 139 says, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. This means that each of us has something of a little Michelangelo in us. Except instead of painting the Last Judgment, we can create wonderful, innovative toys. Remember those who have buried their talents under the guise of piety. My friend, who gave up football, fearing that mastering it would distance him from God. Or another buddy who threw out all his CDs in the name of obedience, hoping to save the world with a single disc of Psalms. Now, to the crux of the matter. Caring for oneself is not easy, but it is possible and necessary. To serve others, we must first be able to serve ourselves, and not just in the one another version, but also the oneself version. Isn't it then better to combine our earthly interests with our spiritual life? Perhaps it is in dancing at a wedding, during a football match, or even while listening to rock and roll, that we are closer to God than we ever suspected. Maybe it is there, among conversations over coffee, walks in the park, or working in the garden, that we find and nurture what is divine and human within us. It's true that we can get lost in service, like in the maze of a large furniture store, but it doesn't have to be that way. God did not create us to live in constant resignation and sacrifice. He wants us to be happy and rested, not exhausted and bitter. Let's ask ourselves, does our service reflect our love for ourselves and God? Or is it a means of escaping from our own self? Can we find time for ourselves so that our self is like a Swedish buffet? Diverse, full of colors and inviting to a life of abundance? Let our search for identity be like good homemade cake, made with love, patience, and a bit of something that makes life tasty. And remember, God does not demand us to be dead saints on an altar. He prefers us joyful, alive, and creative, ready to share that joy with all around us. So, dear ones, go and love yourselves and others with a full, sincere love that makes the world spin, not just around us, but thanks to us. That was a brief instruction on happiness in the format of divine egoism. And now we can go back to everyday life, equipped with love, which is our divine power supply, a power bank for the soul. May God be with you.